Imagine being one of Hollywood's most beloved stars, someone who has made millions of people laugh and smile for decades, and then deciding to make a very personal announcement about your own funeral. At 80 years old, Goldie Hawn, the actress we all know and love, has opened up about something that most people keep private. She's talking about her final goodbye, and more surprisingly, she's revealed who she doesn't want to be there when that day comes. This isn't about drama or old grudges. It's actually something much deeper, much more meaningful, and honestly, it might change the way you think about life, death, and what really matters in the end. Goldie Hawn has been a shining light in entertainment for more than 50 years. From her early days dancing on television to becoming an Oscar-winning actress, she's done it all. She's made us laugh in movies like Private Benjamin and Overboard. She's shown us that getting older doesn't mean losing your spark or your sense of humor. And now, as she enters a 9th decade of life, she's sharing wisdom that only comes from living a full and meaningful existence. But before we dive into what Goldie said about her funeral, let's take a moment to understand who she really is. Because this isn't just about a celebrity making headlines. This is about a woman who has thought deeply about her life, her relationships, and her legacy. Goldie has always been different from other Hollywood stars. She's genuine. She's warm. She speaks her mind without being cruel. And she's never pretended to be perfect. Born in Washington, D.C. in 1945, Goldie grew up in a loving family. Her mother was a jewelry shop owner and her father ran a music store. From a young age, Goldie was drawn to performing. She studied dance and started performing in stage productions while she was still a teenager. By the time she was in her early 20s, she landed a role on a television show called Rowan and Martin's Laugh-In. That's where America fell in love with her. She was bubbly, funny, and had this incredible ability to make people feel happy just by being herself. Her career took off from there. She won an Academy Award for her role in Cactus Flower when she was just 24 years old. Think about that for a moment. At an age where many people are just starting to figure out their careers, Goldie was already at the top of Hollywood. But success didn't change her. She remained grounded, kind, and focused on what truly mattered to her. Throughout her life, Goldie has been in the public eye, but she's always protected what's most important to her, which is her family. She has 4 children from different relationships, and she's been with her partner Kurt Russell for more than 40 years. They never got married, which raised eyebrows in Hollywood, but Goldie has always explained that their relationship works because they chose each other every single day, not because a piece of paper told them they had to stay together. Now, let's get to what everyone wants to know. What did Goldie say about her funeral? In recent interviews, Goldie has been remarkably open about aging and mortality. She's not afraid to talk about death, which is refreshing in a culture that often tries to avoid the subject. She believes that accepting death as a natural part of life actually helps us live better while we're here. When Goldie spoke about her funeral wishes, she said something that surprised many people. She doesn't want it to be a sad, somber affair filled with people who barely knew her or who only showed up because they felt obligated. She doesn't want distant relatives who she hasn't spoken to in years. She doesn't want Hollywood executives or industry people who only knew her as a commodity. And she definitely doesn't want anyone who is coming just to be seen or to network. Instead, Goldie wants a funeral to be intimate and real. She wants only the people who truly love her and who she truly loved in return. She wants her children there, of course. She wants Kurt, the love of her life. She wants her closest friends, the ones who have been there through thick and thin. She wants people who knew her not as Goldie Hawn the movie star, but as Goldie the person, the mother, the friend, the woman who loved to laugh and make others laugh. This might seem like a simple wish, but it's actually quite profound. Think about how many funerals you've attended or heard about where half the people there didn't really know the person who died. They came out of duty or social obligation. They came because they thought they should, not because they genuinely wanted to say goodbye to someone they loved. Goldie is rejecting all of that. She's saying that even in death, she wants authenticity. There's something else Goldie mentioned that really makes you think. She said she doesn't want people at her funeral who brought negativity into her life. She spent 8 decades on this planet, and like everyone, she's encountered people who weren't good for her. Maybe they were jealous. Maybe they were manipulative. Maybe they just didn't understand her or appreciate her for who she really was. Whatever the reason, Goldie has decided that those people don't deserve a place at her final farewell. This takes courage to say out loud. Most of us are raised to be polite and inclusive, even when it comes to people who have hurt us. We're told to forgive and forget, to be the bigger person, to not hold grudges. And while there's wisdom in forgiveness, Goldie is reminding us that forgiveness doesn't mean we have to give everyone unlimited access to our lives or our deaths. We can forgive someone and still decide they don't get to be part of our most intimate moments. Goldie's approach to her funeral reflects how she's lived her entire life. She's always been selective about who she lets into her inner circle. She's built strong, lasting relationships with people who share her values. She's raised her children with love and attention. She's maintained a relationship with Kurt Russell that has lasted longer than many marriages, built on genuine affection and mutual respect rather than legal obligation. Her longtime partner Kurt Russell has been by her side through so much. They met while filming a movie in 1983 and have been inseparable ever since. They blended their families together, with Kurt helping raise Goldie's children and Goldie embracing Kurt's son from his previous marriage. They've shown the world that commitment doesn't require a marriage certificate. It requires showing up every day, choosing love over convenience, and building a life together based on shared values and genuine connection. Goldie's children have also been central to her life. She has 2 children with her ex-husband Bill Hudson, a daughter Kate Hudson who became a successful actress herself, and a son Oliver Hudson who also works in entertainment. She also has a son from her first marriage to Gus Triconis, and she helped raise Kurt's son Boston Russell. Despite the complexity of blended families, Goldie has managed to create a tight-knit unit where love is a foundation. Kate Hudson has spoken many times about what an incredible mother Goldie has been. She's described her mom as someone who taught her to be strong, independent, and true to herself. Goldie encouraged her children to pursue their dreams, but also to stay grounded and remember what really matters in life. She taught them that success means nothing if you're not happy and surrounded by people you love. This philosophy about keeping only genuine people close extends beyond just her funeral wishes. Goldie has built her entire life around this principle. In Hollywood, where superficial relationships are common and people often use each other for career advancement, Goldie has managed to maintain real friendships that have lasted decades. She surrounds herself with people who make her laugh, who challenge her to grow, and who accept her completely. There's also a spiritual element to Goldie's perspective on death and funerals. She has practiced meditation for many years and has spoken about the importance of mindfulness and being present in each moment. She founded an organization that teaches children about emotional wellness and the importance of mental health. Through this work, she's helped countless young people learn to manage stress, process difficult emotions, and build resilience. Her spiritual practice has given her a peaceful acceptance of mortality. She doesn't see death as something to fear, but as a natural transition. This doesn't mean she's not sad about the idea of leaving her loved ones behind, but she's not wasting her remaining years worrying about it. Instead, she's focused on living fully, loving deeply, and making sure that when her time comes, she's surrounded by genuine love rather than empty ceremony. Goldie's stance on her funeral also raises important questions for all of us. How many of us have thought about what we want our own funerals to be like? How many of us have considered who we'd want there and who we wouldn't? Most people avoid these conversations because they are uncomfortable. We don't want to think about our own deaths or seem morbid or negative. But maybe Goldie is onto something. Maybe by being honest about what we want at the end of our lives, we can live more authentically right now. Her message is also about setting boundaries, something that becomes increasingly important as we get older. When you're young, you might feel obligated to maintain relationships with everyone, even people who drain your energy or make you feel bad about yourself. But as you mature, you realize that your time and energy are precious. You start to understand that it's okay to distance yourself from people who don't add value to your life. It's not about being mean or cruel. It's about protecting your peace and investing in relationships that are mutually beneficial and genuinely loving. This is especially relevant in today's world where social media makes it seem like we need to be connected to everyone all the time. We have hundreds of online friends and followers, but how many of those people really know us? How many would be there for us in a crisis? How many would we actually want at our funeral? Goldie is reminding us that quality matters more than quantity when it comes to relationships. Another aspect of Goldie's funeral wishes that's worth discussing is a desire for intimacy over spectacle. In Hollywood, celebrity funerals often become public events with photographers outside, extensive media coverage, and crowds of fans. While there's nothing wrong with public mourning and fans wanting to pay their respects, Goldie is saying that's not what she wants. She wants her death to be treated as a personal family matter, not a media event. This reflects her values throughout her career. Even though she's been famous for decades, Goldie has managed to keep much of her private life private. She doesn't court controversy or seek attention for attention's sake. She does her work, enjoys her family, and lives her life on her own terms. She's shown that you can be successful and famous without losing yourself or compromising your values. Goldie has also been open about the importance of joy and laughter, even when facing difficult topics like death. She said that she hopes her funeral will include laughter and happy memories rather than just tears and sadness. She wants people to remember the good times, the funny moments, the love they shared. She wants it to be a celebration of a life well lived rather than a mournful goodbye. This approach to death reflects her overall philosophy about life. Goldie has always believed in finding joy wherever possible. Even in her 80s, she maintains a playful, youthful spirit. She still laughs easily, still finds wonder in the world, still approaches each day with curiosity and enthusiasm. She's proof that aging doesn't have to mean becoming bitter or jaded. You can grow older while still maintaining your sense of humor and your ability to find happiness in simple things. Her relationship with Kurt Russell exemplifies this perfectly. Even after 4 decades together, they still make each other laugh. They still enjoy spending time together. They still support each other's dreams and goals. They've shown that long-term relationships don't have to become boring or routine. When you're with the right person and you keep choosing each other every day, love can actually deepen and become richer over time. Goldie's children have also embraced this philosophy. Kate Hudson frequently talks about the importance of joy and positivity in her own life. She's raising her children with the same values her mother taught her. This shows that Goldie's influence extends beyond her own life. She's created a legacy of love, laughter, and authenticity that will continue through her children and grandchildren. As we think about Goldie's funeral wishes, we should also consider what this means for how we live our lives right now. Are we surrounding ourselves with people who genuinely care about us? Are we investing time and energy into relationships that matter? Are we being authentic, or are we pretending to be someone we're not? Are we holding on to relationships that no longer serve us out of obligation or guilt? These are hard questions, but they're important ones. Life is too short to spend it with people who don't appreciate you or who bring negativity into your world. Life is too precious to waste on superficial connections that look good on the surface but lack real depth. Goldie is teaching us that it's okay to be selective. It's okay to prioritize quality over quantity. It's okay to protect your peace and your joy. At 80 years old, Goldie Hawn has earned the right to say exactly what she wants for her funeral. She's lived a full, rich life. She's loved deeply and been loved in return. She's raised wonderful children. She's made millions of people happy through her work. She's contributed to society through a charitable foundation. She's been true to herself even when it would have been easier to conform to expectations. Her funeral wishes aren't about being difficult or exclusionary. They're about honoring the life she's lived by ensuring that her death is handled in a way that reflects her values. She wants authenticity. She wants genuine emotion. She wants the people who really knew her and loved her to be able to grieve and celebrate together without the distraction of obligation, guests, or media circuses. There's also something beautiful about how Goldie is taking control of her narrative even in death. In a world where so much feels outside our control, she's asserting her right to decide how her final chapter will be written. She's not leaving it up to others to plan some generic funeral that doesn't reflect who she really was. She's making her wishes known now, while she's still here, so that her loved ones will know exactly what she wants. This is actually a gift to her family. By being clear about her wishes, she's removing the burden of decision-making from them during what will be an incredibly difficult time. They won't have to wonder what she would have wanted or argue about whether to invite certain people. They'll know exactly how to honor her memory in a way that she would have approved of. Goldie's openness about death and funerals is also helping to normalize these conversations. In many cultures, death is treated as a taboo topic. People avoid talking about it until it's too late, which can lead to confusion and conflict when the time comes. By speaking publicly about her funeral wishes, Goldie is encouraging others to have these conversations with their own families. She's showing that it's not morbid or depressing to think about death. It's actually practical and loving to make your wishes known. As we wrap up this story about Goldie Hawn and her funeral wishes, the bigger message becomes clear. This isn't really about who won't be at her funeral. It's about who will be there. It's about the people who matter most. It's about a life lived with intention and love. It's about the importance of authenticity and genuine connection in a world that often values appearance over substance. Goldie has given us all something to think about. She's reminded us that we have the power to shape our own stories, even the final chapter. She's shown us that it's never too late to set boundaries and protect what matters most. She's demonstrated that aging can be a time of wisdom, peace, and continued joy rather than decline and sadness. So what can we take away from Goldie Hawn's funeral wishes? First, we can learn to be more selective about who we allow into our lives. We can recognize that not every relationship needs to be maintained forever. Some connections serve their purpose, and then it's okay to let them go. Second, we can prioritize authenticity in all our relationships. We can be ourselves and surround ourselves with people who love us for who we really are, not who they want us to be. Third, we can have honest conversations with our loved ones about our own wishes for the end of our lives. We can take control of our narratives and make sure our values are honored even after we're gone. Fourth, we can focus on building deep, meaningful relationships rather than collecting superficial connections. Quality truly is more important than quantity when it comes to the people in our lives. Finally, we can approach life with the same joy and humor that Goldie embodies. We can refuse to let aging make us bitter. We can keep laughing, keep loving, keep finding wonder in the world around us. We can live in a way that when our own time comes, we'll be surrounded by people who genuinely love us and who we genuinely love in return. Goldie Hawn at 80 years old is still teaching us valuable lessons. She's still making us think. She's still inspiring us to be better, to live more authentically, to love more deeply. Her funeral wishes might have grabbed headlines, but the real story is about how she's lived her life and the legacy of love and authenticity she's building. If you found this story meaningful, if Goldie's wisdom resonated with you, please hit that like button. Share this video with someone who needs to hear this message about living authentically and prioritizing genuine relationships. And don't forget to subscribe to our channel because we bring you more inspiring stories about remarkable people who are living life on their own terms. Leave a comment below telling us what you think about Goldie's funeral wishes and what you've learned from her incredible life. Thanks for watching, and remember, it's never too late to start living more authentically and surrounding yourself with people who truly matter.